And he will be called Dotar Sojat, my right arms!
So you know the movie John Carter? Yeah, the one that was supposed to be a trilogy? Well, it might be getting a shot at a second part now that Hollywood's all about bringing back old favorites. And guess what? Andrew Stanton, the mastermind behind Toy Story, should steer the ship for Disney's take on Edgar Rice Burroughs' sci-fi classic, A Princess of Mars. The original books have loads of juicy material for at least 2 more movies, and the first one leaves you hanging with a cliffhanger that's straight out of Avatar. So yeah, strap in folks, because we might just be in for another wild ride on the Red Planet. Alright, so here's the scoop on John Carter 2's storyline spill. Andrew Stanton spilled the beans to Collider that the sequel would have been called Gods of Mars. Just like how Willem Dafoe's character Tars did some storytelling in the first flick, Lynn Collins' character Deja would have kicked off the sequel with a little narrative. So the story starts with Deja telling their kiddo Carthoris about the wild ride in the first movie, thinking he'll never get to know his old man, John Carter. Then, bam! Ciarán Hinds' character Tardos Mors swoops in and takes the kid, pretending to tuck him in for the night. But, plot twist, Tardos Mors is actually Matai Shang, played by Mark Strong from Kingsman, a shapeshifter who nabs the kiddo and vanishes. And that's when the opening credits roll and we're back in Barsoom. Fast forward a decade and Carter's back on the scene, learning that Deja's gone chasing after their missing kiddo. Teaming up with Tars Tarkas, Carter follows her trail and stumbles upon a hidden city run by some ancient beings called the Firstborns, who are big fans of the goddess Isis. Turns out, these Firstborns have been pulling the strings on Barsoom since day one, controlling everything from water to plants. Carter smells something fishy, realizing that goddess Isis is just another face of Matai Shang. So he sets out to expose the shapeshifter and save his son. Things hit fever pitch when Carter nearly takes out his own genetically enhanced son, a superhuman warrior created by Matai. But don't worry, it all ends on a high note, with Deja, Carter, and their son finally reuniting, and a big ol' alliance forms to take down the Therns, bringing together the Red, the Green, and the Firstborn races. In John Carter 3, aka Warlord of Mars, Carter's in a mad dash against time to stop those sneaky Therns from blowing up the whole planet. Those shape-shifting baddies are up to their old tricks, pretending to be big shots among the Martian races, stirring up trouble and getting everyone to duke it out. Meanwhile, Deja's on a genius mission, inventing a gadget to sniff out those Therns in their tricky disguises. But just when she's onto something, those Therns wreck her invention. And to make matters worse, they're off Taylor Kitsch's Carter. But here's the kicker, he's just a clone, and the real deal wakes up back on good old Earth. Enter Edgar, our trusty sidekick, with his trusty shotgun, saving Carter from Thern goons and helping him hop back to Mars. With the looming threat of total chaos, Carter and crew trek to the ends of the Earth, well, Mars, with their latest Thern detector gadget in tow. Along the way, they cross paths with Matai, and Carter gives him a taste of defeat, saving the day and earning his stripes as the one and only Warlord of Mars. If these fantastic sequel stories weren't enough to convince you that we need to revive the franchise, let me shed light on another reason. The John Carter tales played a pivotal role in shaping the landscape of modern science fiction. The first John Carter novel, A Princess of Mars, was serialized in All Story magazine from February to July 1912. It introduced readers to a captivating world on the Red Planet, teeming with a dying civilization, incredible creatures, and advanced technology. The protagonist, John Carter, finds himself amidst warring factions, the Tharks, or Green Martians, and the human-like Red Martians living in conflicting city-states. These stories, hailed as early examples of pulp space opera, blend elements of westerns, war tales, and traditional science fiction, creating a rich alternate universe. John Carter's extraordinary abilities, attributed to Mars' lower gravity, laid the groundwork for the superhero archetype, prefiguring characters like Superman by a quarter century. The influence of these stories on modern science fiction is immense. Renowned figures like Carl Sagan and numerous authors, including Ray Bradbury, Frank Herbert, and Arthur C. Clarke, have acknowledged their impact. The Flash Gordon and Buck Rogers serials of the 1930s drew inspiration from Burroughs' work, shaping subsequent generations of filmmakers. Filmmaker James Cameron openly acknowledges John Carter's influence on his Avatar movies, featuring an Earthling discovering a new world. Michael Crichton even paid homage by naming a character after John Carter in his hospital drama ER. George Lucas embarked on the Star Wars saga with Burroughs stories in mind. Without Burroughs' groundbreaking books, 20th century science fiction as we know it might never have come to fruition. A John Carter remake has the potential to enrich the landscape of science fiction. Despite its rocky start, the film has garnered a dedicated following over the years, although it hasn't entirely overcome the setbacks of its initial release. A decade later, writer Richard Newby reflected on its impact in The Hollywood Reporter, acknowledging its flaws while praising its charm, action-packed sequences, and faithfulness to Burroughs' vision. Devoted fans of the Mars novels still hold it in high esteem, and its potential for a broader franchise is evident. Director Andrew Stanton initially envisioned a trilogy, but plans were shelved after the underperformance of the first installment. While revisiting the original film may seem improbable, the source material, Burroughs' novels, remain as captivating as ever and are ripe for a fresh reboot. The rise of streaming platforms and the demand for new content have significantly expanded opportunities since 2012. Furthermore, advancements in CGI technology offer the possibility of creating a visually stunning rendition of John Carter's Mars at a fraction of the previous cost. With 11 novels in Burroughs' series, there's an abundance of material to support multiple seasons or a series of films, making the prospect of a reboot even more enticing. Certainly, a significant counter-argument is that the Star Wars franchise has dominated the market for swashbuckling space operas, potentially overshadowing any competition. However, John Carter's unique 19th century setting presents an intriguing alternative, offering a refreshing twist that could resonate with audiences. A savvy adaptation could leverage this setting to create a steampunk aesthetic, providing a distinct flavor within the genre. A successful adaptation could not only pave the way for other similar productions, but also offer a format that complements, rather than directly competes with, the major franchises like Star Wars. Thanks for sticking around till the end of the video. What are your thoughts on the idea of rebooting classic sci-fi stories like John Carter for modern audiences? Do you think there's still room for these kinds of adventures in today's entertainment landscape? Share your opinions in the comments below, and don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more content like this. Until next time, keep exploring the wonders of fiction.